You clearly didn't have any doubts about CeeDee Lamb. He's clearly one of the best wide receivers in the world. Nevertheless, when everybody and their grandmother looked at it and said, this is his market value, 4 years, about $136 million, about $34 million per year, what have you, we sort of knew that ultimately the conclusion that was reached would be reached. Yet it took you practically all summer and all off season to make the deal happen. Why was that?
Now let me get this straight.
Yes, sir.
We're questioning whether or not I had the same evaluation of CeeDee Lamb because I was a little slow in people's opinion about getting him on paper.
Okay.
When he got on paper, did you see how much went on paper?
Yeah, I did.
Now, the same guy that was slow is the one that wrote that number on that paper and signed it.
Right.
There was never any question about how we felt CeeDee Lamb was as a football player or what he could do to basically help our team.
But, Jerry, that's what feeds into my question. We know you didn't doubt it. We can see that. So somebody is looking at Jerry Jones and they're saying, this man knows what he's doing. He knows what a talent he has. He knows he's going to sign this guy. What takes him so long? So how do you answer the question about what took you so long when you knew exactly what he was worth and what you were going to do in the end?
I haven't, and I'm not trying to be cute,
okay,
but I don't see any rewards or I don't see any penalties on your timer. On does he get on the field, and is he on the field when he ought to be out there? And so I had no urgency at all about getting him to the field. Now, I'm sensitive about what fans and all of the ones that are against the Cowboys as well as all the ones that are for the Cowboys. And I want to look good as well as anyone else. But it was important for us to, on every aspect, to really try to husband as much of the resources that would go in Lamb's direction. It was critical for us to husband $1,000, $50,000, $100,000, because in our system, that's that much more that we've got to pay Parsons, or that's that much more for us to pay that young offensive lineman that we want to renew his contract 3 years from now. It's a zero-sum game. And by the way, this isn't the world's smallest fiddle here. Boy, I'm so lucky to get to do this. But also know that just because you have $1,000 in your bank account, have you ever thought that you may owe $3,000 back over here in bills? And so when you see that and you say, well, I've got the money, I'm going to go do it, unless you look around the corner a little bit, you may not be able to do it. I'm looking at all times, certainly the short-term part of any contract with any player. But I'm also looking longer term. I have to look 3 years down the road, if you will, sometimes maybe 5 years down the road. I have a very good feel, as good as anybody, about what the future is going to be for the teams in the NFL regarding revenue. I understand it very well. I've spent 35, 40 years doing almost nothing but thinking about NFL, the revenues.
This is your 36th year coming up. This is your 36th year coming up.
36 year. Yes. And by the way, I coveted being in the NFL. I was looking at it 4 or 5 years before that.
You wanted a piece of the Chargers at the time, if I remember correctly.
Exactly. My point, without being long-winded, is this is a long-range life that you have to deal with in intermittent short-term decisions in many cases. CeeDee's contract had everything to do with how important he was to the future of the Dallas Cowboys. It had everything to do with rewarding him for how he had evolved as a key player for the Dallas Cowboys. But it also had everything to do with how he was going to fit in our picture years down the road.
By the way, this is the Stephen A. Smith Show. You ain't being edited. You can be as long-winded as you want to. Don't worry about anything. It's gonna be in there. We're not cutting.
Quit kicking me on the ankle.
We're not cutting out anything.